If you're watching this video, we can bet that you've always dreamed of becoming a Disney princess. Well, luckily Disney hires princesses for full-time roles. That's if you meet all the requirements. You'll never guess what some princess hopefuls have been turned away for. If you love binge-watching videos as much as we do, check out our new platform that we created just for you. Watch thousands of videos from your favorite channels, including The Trendy, The Things, The Taco, and The Richest, in one place with ad-free browsing. Sign up now to the Premium to get early access to these videos for free. See you soon! Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Now, let's get into 10 strange requirements to work as a Disney princess. Resemble a princess. Has anyone ever come up to you and told you how much you look like Aurora or Cinderella? What about Tiana? Mulan? Well, if not, then the odds are not in your favor when it comes to landing a job as a Disney princess. The idea behind having real-life princesses walking around the park is that the children are supposed to fully believe that they are who they say they are. So, if you don't look a thing like any of the princesses, you probably won't be able to fool anyone. There are all sorts of makeup hacks and tricks that you can use to try to make yourself look a little more like your favorite Disney damsel. A little contouring can go a long way when you want to change the shape of your face. Most of the princesses wear wigs, so you don't have to worry about dyeing your hair or getting a drastic cut before your interview. In a perfect world, anyone would be able to portray whichever Disney princess they wanted to. If you always dreamed of being Belle as a little girl, then you could grow up to play her at Disney World. But unfortunately, this look-alike rule is one that doesn't seem to be budging, especially if the park owners really want to fool the kids. Don't be afraid to be put on the spot. Kids wouldn't be kids if they didn't say exactly what was on their minds. Kids often have no filter and won't hold back any of their questions just because you may be offended. So if you want to be a Disney princess, you will have to be prepared for this. You will also need to know how to react to any of these situations. A kid could try to pull your wig off or ask you something extremely embarrassing. But as a Disney cast member, which is what the characters who work at Disney are called, you will need to never break character. Poise is one of the key attributes to being a princess. If you allow your emotions to get in the way and show that you are uncomfortable, the kid may not believe that you are their beloved Disney character. The people hiring Disney princesses are well aware of this and may test you in your interview to see how you will react to both the normal and outlandish questions that children may ask. There is no need to worry. Just remember that the Disney parks are all about fun, and so is your character. When you keep that in mind, you should be able to come up with a fun, lighthearted answer to any of the hard questions that you might be thrown. Height. How tall do you think the typical Disney princess is? If you were thinking back to when you were a kid and saw them at one of the Disney parks, you may be guessing that they are quite tall. That probably has more to do with how small you were than the actual height of any of the cast members. Turns out, to land a job as a Disney princess, you must be between 5'4" and 5'7". So if you fall under or over that mark, you may be up against a few blockers if you try out. Why are these rules so strict, you might ask? Because the costumes have already been made. Potential cast members must fit into them. They must also look good in the dresses, so squeezing into them or wearing one that you are too tall for is simply out of the question. There are several other jobs that you may be able to gain if you're not the right height to be one of Disney's darlings, though they may not be as fun or as interactive. We wouldn't let that stop you from applying though. Who knows, the parks may have ordered a few new uniforms over the years and you could be just the perfect fit. Be under a size 10. We know when you were watching all those Disney movies growing up, we were amazed at how in shape all the princesses were. The same is true for Disney princesses in real life, but for a whole other reason. Disney does not have an official weight range that they look for when hiring princesses. The only requirement is that you must fit into the costume. Several past Disney cast members have said that the largest dress the parks have available is a size 10. According to them, the dresses are pretty true to size, so there isn't much wiggle room. One former Disney princess hopeful wrote a blog post saying that while she made it past the initial rounds of her auditions, she was eventually told to leave when it came to taking measurements. She says that she was encouraged to try out again once she lost around 15 pounds. That must have been devastating, but she did not let that get her down. Instead, she wrote up a blog post to help other people land roles as Disney princesses and says that she might give it another shot sometime in the future. We wonder why they can't just order larger dresses or let the back out of a few of them. Wouldn't it be easier to hire cast members that way? Be able to dance. When you think of Disney princesses, what do you usually think of? Uncanny beauty, kindness, gentleness, woodland friends, an amazing voice? Well, if great dance skills weren't on your list, then you might want to give it a rewrite. In order to get hired as a Disney princess, you must be a master of the moves. During the audition round, you're taught a dance and must perform it almost immediately afterward. If you can't remember the two-step or where to put your hands, you might not make it through the audition. One girl who made it through to the next round wrote on her blog that during the dance portion, you should try to be as silly as possible. The people hiring are looking for girls who can entertain children. If you are too shy or too self-aware to dance like a fool for an audition, then maybe that isn't the right job for you. If you are able to pick up dances easily and can make them your own, you will probably have a better chance of moving on to the next round. Before you go into the interview, maybe practicing a few go-to moves in the mirror would be a great idea. Try anything that can help you seem more princess-like and keep you prepared. Be able to act. Were you ever in any school plays? Did you ever have to pretend to be someone else for a show? Well, that's exactly what it's like to play a Disney princess at one of the most well-known theme parks in the world. It's such a big part of the role that they test your acting abilities in the interview. First, they check to make sure that you look like the princess. If not, you will probably be sent home. After that, they teach you a dance and ask you to perform what you have just learned. If you make it through both of those barriers, then you have reached the acting portion. They have you read as the character that you are trying for and conduct an interview. If you can pull it off and make the people hiring see a version of one of the princesses inside of you, then you are as good as gold. A good way to prepare for this would be to study the movie before you come in. Just because you saw it when you were a child doesn't mean you know enough to talk about the whole movie. Make sure to run through a few scenes in the mirror by yourself or with a friend. This way, you can try to convince yourself first. Sit through princess training. If you think sitting through hour-long classes is hard, imagine trying to make it through princess training. That is, if you get through all the interviews and land the job. Several former princesses have said that overall the training is about 4 to 5 days. The course consists of watching the Disney movie that portrays your specific princess with a trainer. You are really encouraged to study the movie and get everything out of the film you possibly can. You then watch the other versions of your character interact with guests. The idea is to get a handle on how you should act in front of park goers. Next, you take tests on your princess. Some of the questions have included things like, who is the princess's favorite person? Once you have those things mastered, you're given a course on how to apply makeup to look like the character. Princesses are required to apply their own makeup before they go out into the parks, so it's important that you learn how to do it during the training. Being a princess is about completely embodying the characters, so it makes sense that the training would be so intense. Just think, if you make it through all of the rigorous work, you get to be a literal princess and meet hundreds of adoring fans all day. Who wouldn't want that? Great handwriting. How good is your handwriting? Have you been stuck with the same signature for years, trying to figure out how to make it better? Well, if you want to be a Disney princess, you will have to figure out how to mimic their handwriting to a T. Each princess has their own unique signature. For instance, Cinderella creates a line going from the bottom of the C in her name and writes the rest of the letters on the top of that line. Princess Aurora from Sleeping Beauty makes the A in her name a little more girly by adding a little swirly circle to the side. Both of those signatures differ greatly from Pocahontas and less like what someone would think of a Disney princess. But if you know anything about Pocahontas' story, then you can tell that nothing about her was girly or flowery. When stepping into this role, you must completely become those characters for the kids in the park. This is why the signatures are an important added detail of making sure everything fits exactly as it's supposed to. There are plenty of calligraphy classes that can help you master any typography that you would like, and Disney may even offer a crash course for its new hires. If you look exactly like one of the princesses, handwriting probably isn't a deal breaker. Make the salary work. Most part-time jobs don't pay much. If that is what you're looking for, then being a Disney princess might be perfect for you. It's a fun summer gig that will definitely put money in your pockets and give you an experience of a lifetime. But if you're looking for more of a full-time position, Disney also offers those, but the pay might not be what you're looking for. Reports from 2013 showed that the girls started out making about $13 to $16 an hour. When you do the math, that works out to be about $27,000 a year before taxes. Several Several girls have also noted that their raises weren't huge, so moving up the totem pole isn't really an option. If you're young and just doing the job for fun, that would be more than enough money to accomplish that goal. If you're a bit older and have bills to worry about, this salary may be tough. Another obstacle to think about is if you have children. Supporting kids on such a salary might be a tough call, unless you work from park open to park close every day of the week. If you're working at Disney World, it may also be easier to stretch your money than if you work at Disneyland in California. Deal with stalkers. Everyone loves Disney princesses. Some people may love them a little too much. That's why multiple former Disney cast members have said that there was no shortage of creepy men around whenever they were working. One former Snow White took to Reddit to hold an open forum. She used Reddit's Ask Me Anything feature to answer any questions that people had. She said that one man began to follow her around the park and threatened to hurt all of the other Snow Whites in the park because she was the only one that was real. The police had to get involved, and the man's season pass was eventually revoked. A former Belle says that some of the husbands that were there would whisper inappropriate things in her ear when their children and wives were not paying attention. She says that she was able to avert their attention by mentioning something about the beast so that they would leave her alone. It's strange to think that in such a happy and pure place, certain people would still find a way to make it creepy. But if you want to be a Disney princess, that's something that you have to be prepared for. Luckily, it seems like Disney's security is always there to help if anything gets out of hand. That's it for 10 strange requirements to work as a Disney princess. Were you surprised by some of the standards? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more.